In which of the following situations is passing always forbidden? A. The vehicle ahead is making a left turn. B. You are on a one-way street which has 2 lanes. C. The vehicle ahead is stopped for a pedestrian in a crosswalk. D. The vehicle ahead is going to park parallel to the curb. C. The vehicle ahead is stopped for a pedestrian in a crosswalk. You must never pass a vehicle that has stopped at a crosswalk to allow a pedestrian to go across. A "no stopping" sign means that, unless directed to do so by a police officer, you may stop only. A. Long enough to unload packages. B. To avoid conflict with other traffic. C. To discharge passengers. D. For less than 5 minutes. B. To avoid conflict with other traffic. A "no stopping" sign means you can only stop to obey a traffic signal, to obey a police officer, or to prevent a conflict with another vehicle. Drivers must yield to a pedestrian? A. Even if the pedestrian crosses the street carelessly. B. Only when the pedestrian is in a crosswalk. C. Only if the pedestrian is on the same side of the road as the driver. D. If the pedestrian uses a hand signal to ask oncoming drivers to stop. A. Even if the pedestrian crosses the street carelessly. Drivers must always yield to pedestrians in the street, even if they are crossing against a red light or are otherwise being careless. When you want to overtake and pass another vehicle, you should: A. Wait for a signal from the other driver. B. Change lanes quickly so the other driver will see you. C. Signal and pass when it is safe to do so. D. Stay close behind the vehicle so you need less time to pass. C. Signal and pass when it is safe to do so. If conditions are safe and legal for passing, check in your mirrors and signal your lane change. Before you pull into the left lane, look quickly over your left shoulder to make sure there is no vehicle in your blind spot.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
You have the right of way when you are: A. Entering a traffic circle. B. Backing out of a driveway. C. Leaving a parking space. D. Already within a traffic circle. D. Already within a traffic circle. A driver who enters a traffic circle or rotary must yield the right of way to drivers already in the circle. Vehicles entering a roadway from a driveway must yield the right of way to pedestrians and to vehicles already in the road. When leaving a parking space, you must yield to oncoming traffic. You are merging onto an interstate highway. You should: A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. B. Merge across 2 lanes at once. C. Always stop before entering the highway. A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. Anytime you want to merge with other drivers, you need to find a gap large enough for you to safely enter into the flow of traffic. You should not stop on the entrance ramp to an interstate highway unless there are no gaps into which you may safely merge. Road rage and aggressive driving may be reduced by: A. Allowing extra travel time. B. Obeying posted speed limits. C. Using proper turn signals. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. As an increasing number of drivers populate the roadways, road rage becomes more prevalent. To help prevent road rage, a driver should use proper turn signals, obey posted speed limits, and allow plenty of travel time. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means A. Passing on the left is permitted from either direction. B. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line. C. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the solid line. D. Passing is not allowed from either direction. B. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means that passing is allowed from the lane on the side next to the broken line. A driver who is taking a non-prescription drug should A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. B. Drink alcohol instead. C. Continue to drive regardless of any warning labels. D. Drive only during daylight hours. A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. Many over-the-counter medications can affect your ability to drive safely. If you take medication, even a remedy for colds or allergies that is not prescribed, check the label for warnings about its effects. If you are unsure, ask your doctor or pharmacist about driving while on the medication. This sign means A. No left turn. B. No stopping. C. No U-turn. D. Detour ahead. C. No U-turn. This sign indicates that U-turns are prohibited. Before you leave a parking space that is parallel to the curb, you should A. Sound your horn. B. Turn on your four-way flashers. C. Look for traffic by turning your head. D. Look for traffic by using only your inside rearview mirror. C. Look for traffic by turning your head. Before leaving a parking space to pull back into traffic, you should turn your head to look over your shoulder and check through the window for pedestrians, bicyclists, motorcyclists, and other vehicles that can become a hazard. If an approaching train is near enough or going fast enough to be a danger, you must A. Slow down and proceed with caution. B. Not cross the tracks until the train has completely passed. C. Cross the tracks at your own risk. D. Find an alternative route across tracks. B. Not cross the tracks until the train has completely passed. You should look and listen for trains before crossing any railroad tracks. If an approaching train is near enough or going fast enough to be a danger, you cannot go across the tracks. This is true even if they have no signals or the signals are not working. You are making a left turn from a two-way street onto a one-way street. When you have completed the turn, your car should be A. In the right lane of the street. B. In the center of the street. C. In the left lane of the street. D. In the lane with the least traffic. C. In the left lane of the street. If you are turning left from a two-way street onto a one-way street, you should complete the turn into the lane closest to the lane you have just left. If an oncoming driver is heading toward you in your lane, you should A. Blow your horn, steer right, and accelerate. B. Blow your horn, steer left, and brake. C. Blow your horn, steer right, and brake. D. Stay in the center of your lane, blow your horn, and brake. C. Blow your horn, steer right, and brake. If another vehicle is approaching you head-on in your lane, you should first honk your horn to attract attention. If the other driver does not move over, try to escape to the right. If you swerve left and the other driver corrects at the last instant, you will still crash. If a collision is unavoidable, brake firmly and steadily. Every mile per hour you slow down will reduce the impact. When changing lanes, you should never A. Look over your shoulder to check your blind spot. B. Change lanes abruptly or spontaneously. C. Check for other vehicles moving into the same lane. B. Change lanes abruptly or spontaneously. When changing lanes, you must be sure that there are no vehicles in the space you want to enter. Check for other vehicles behind and to the side of your vehicle by checking your mirrors and blind spots. Always use the proper turn signal before changing lanes to allow surrounding vehicles time to react to your movements. This sign means A. 4-lane traffic ahead. B. Divided highway ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. D. Intersection ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. This sign warns of 2-way traffic ahead. A child passenger who is under the age of 8 and less than. Fill in the blank. In height is required to be seated in an approved child safety seat while in a moving vehicle. A. 5 feet, 5 inches. B. 5 feet. C. 4 feet, 11 inches. D. 4 feet, 9 inches. D. 4 feet, 9 inches. New York law requires children who are under the age of 8 and shorter than 4 feet, 9 inches tall, or weighing less than 100 pounds, to be seated in a government-approved child safety seat. They should not be allowed to use a seat belt until the seat belt fits properly. Minimum speed signs are designed to A. Keep traffic flowing smoothly. B. Show current local road conditions. C. Test future traffic signal needs. D. Ensure pedestrian safety. A. Keep traffic flowing smoothly. To keep a smooth traffic flow, some highways have minimum speed limits. If you drive more slowly than the minimum speed limit, you can halt the traffic flow and create dangerous conditions. Even if there is no posted minimum speed limit, those driving too slowly can be dangerous and may receive a citation. Fog can greatly reduce the visibility of other vehicles, pedestrians, and traffic signals. When driving in fog, you should A. Drive cautiously and reduce your speed. B. Not use your high beam headlights. C. Use low beam headlights to better illuminate the road and objects. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Fog can greatly reduce your ability to see other vehicles, pedestrians, and traffic signals. When driving in fog, drive cautiously and at reduced speeds. Do not use high beam headlights. Low beams better illuminate the road and objects ahead in foggy conditions. This sign means A. You should stop for other traffic. B. Traffic is entering from another road and you should allow additional space for drivers to merge safely into the flow of traffic. C. Traffic is entering from another road and you should keep right. B. Traffic is entering from another road and you should allow additional space for drivers to merge safely into the flow of traffic. This sign alerts you to the possibility of traffic merging into the main stream of travel. After checking to your side and rear, you should move into another lane, if possible, to allow merging motorists a clear path.